Greetings to everyone, and a very warm welcome to each and everyone who has joined us here today, this global summit. Before we begin today's enriching session, we'd like to introduce the passionate community behind this summit. Let's take a moment to discover who we are, what we stand for, and the vision that brings us all together. Please enjoy this short introduction to the Women Fisheries Graduate Network.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone joining us from different parts of the world. I am Revati. I did PhD from ICAR-CIFE Mumbai, India, in the Department of Fish Nutrition and Feed Technology. Currently, I am a part of WFGN as a nutrition specialist, and alongside my wonderful co-hosts Sister Joseph and Asta, it is my privilege to welcome you to technical session 1 of day 3 of the WFGN Global Interactive Summit 2026. Over the next 2 hours, we will take you on a journey through the latest innovation in fisheries nutrition, sustainable aquaculture, and aquatic food systems. We hope today's discussion inspire new ideas, meaningful collaborations, and exciting opportunities for researchers and professionals alike. Asta, over to you.
Thank you, Revati. I'm Astha, a postgraduate student specializing in fish nutrition and feed technology, a co host for this session. On behalf of the Women Fisheries Graduate Network under the Thundal ecosystem, it is my great pleasure to welcome you all to the third and final day of the WFGN Global Interactive Summit 2026. Over the past 2 days, we have explored a remarkable range of topics from aquaculture, aquatic animal health, to fisheries engineering, biotechnology, resource management, and processing technologies. Each session has highlighted the power of science, innovation, and international collaboration in shaping the future of the blue economy. Today, we begin our final with a theme that lies at the heart of every successful aquaculture systems: nutrition beyond the plate, exploring innovations for sustainable aquatic food systems. This session invites me to look beyond nutrition as simply feeding fish. Shrishti, over to you.
Thank you, Astha. A very warm welcome to everyone. I'm Srishti Joseph, Vice President of the Women Fisheries Graduate Network and a postgraduate student specializing in fish nutrition and biochemistry. For me, nutrition is one of the most fascinating areas of fisheries science because it connects animal health, sustainability, environmental responsibility, and food security into one discipline. Today's sessions reflects exactly that spirit, and I'm delighted to be your host as we explore this exciting field together. Our session today is titled Nutrition Beyond the Plate. When we hear the word nutrition, our minds often go directly to the food on our tables. But in fisheries and aquaculture, nutrition begins long before that. It starts with the feed ingredients we choose, the nutrients that support healthy growth, the innovations that reduce dependence on finite marine resources, and the scientific discoveries that help fish remain healthy in an increasingly changing environment. Today, nutrition is no longer just about maximizing growth. It is about designing sustainable feeds that protect our natural ecosystems. It is about improving fish health through functional nutrition rather than relying solely on treatments. It is about finding alternative proteins that reduce pressure on wild fisheries. And ultimately, it is about ensuring that aquaculture continues to provide safe, nutritious food for a growing global population while safeguarding our planet's resources. Today's sessions brings together an exceptional panel of speakers representing research institutions, academia, and industry across India, Nigeria, and the Netherlands. Although each of our speakers approaches nutrition from a different perspective, they are united by a common vision to build a healthier aquatic animals, more resilient farming systems, and sustainable aquatic food system for generations to come. Without further delay, let us begin today's scientific journey. I now invite my colleague to introduce our first distinguished speaker. My host, it's over to you.
Thank you, Srishti. Around the world, one question continues to save aquaculture. How can we produce high quality protein while reducing pressure on our planet's emerging from an unexpected source? Michel van Spankeren, Global Technical Manager, Feed to Protect the Netherlands. Michel is insect-based nutrition for animal feeds. Through his leadership at Protix and his contribution to a significant role in bringing insect protein from an innovative concept to the commercially scalable solution for sustainable aquaculture. His work demonstrates how circular economy principles can transform organic waste into valuable feed ingredients, helping build more resilient and environmentally responsible food system. Please welcome Mr. Michel van Spankeren. Sir, the virtual podium is now yours.
Thank you very much, Bhavati. Preeti. Really appreciate the opportunity to address this beautiful initiative. Yeah, happy to be a part of your session today. I've prepared a few slides to introduce Protix and a little bit more about what we do. So if that's okay, I'll share my screen. This will be a short presentation. Let's see. So I will only be seeing the screen for now. Hope you are able to see it. Can you, actually, I do see you here in the corner. Could maybe somebody put a thumbs up if they can see it? Yeah, okay, good. Then we move forward. So thank you very much for the opportunity to introduce Protix and a little bit more about what we do. First about myself, I was already introduced, but I wanted to share that my background is also nutrition. I've studied in the Netherlands, our capital, Amsterdam, but I studied in Wageningen. It's a university focused around life sciences and worked there, followed by some jobs in aqua feed companies. Focused my specialization toward aqua feed, and currently my role is more in the bridging between commercial and technical knowledge. For this presentation, I've gathered 4 different parts, a little bit more about our company, something more about the solutions that we provide to the industry, how we eventually produce, and a little bit about how then eventually this goes to aquaculture. This photo here shows His Majesty the King, the blonde gentleman in the white lab coat, opening our factory and holding his hand in a box of our beautiful larvae. Protix has been founded in 2009. It's a company that originates from the Netherlands with a focus on Europe initially. We have worked for many years on developing the ecosystem to be able to produce insects and market insects in Europe, and therewith also been at the basis of a lot of the legislation, market development, and technology development. Since in 2009, the insect sector was absent from the European legislative environment, the market, and there was no place you could go for the development of a factory. Many years have passed since 2009. In 2019, this factory was opened by His Majesty the King, together with our former Minister of Agriculture, Carola Schouten, on the bottom left corner. And all our experience have enabled us to become a trusted partner in the industry and really a benchmark in the diverse markets that we're active in. Protix has specialized in the breeding and ingredient production of black soldier fly, abbreviated as BSF, Latin name Hermetia illicens, which is a different species than typically used for human nutrition, for example. There are other insect species for that. Already said a few words about this, but Protix distinguishes itself really by the years of experience, the ingredient type that we produce. We have focused on high performance ingredients, focused on quality and consistency in our development, making us a stable and trustworthy supplier to our partners in the field. And furthermore, we are dedicated to having the science right. So we actually believe in peer-reviewed science and doing trials with partners in the field to prove the application in their formulations. Here's a little video that shows you some insights into our factory and the reason why we are active. I'm not sure if I shared with sound. Can you hear the sound? Forward. So you've seen a little bit about our factory. From the European perspective, high automation makes a lot of sense. But with our expansion, we obviously also optimize for new production environments. But what we keep the same and what we are highly valuing is the portfolio of functional insect ingredients that we produce. We supply to actually 5 different markets. We're not only active in aquaculture, which is the core of today, but for your knowledge, we're also active in the pet food industry, which was the first market and only market until 2017 for us that we could supply our protein product into. Then aquaculture being opened in 2017 widened the opportunity for us to expand our R&D and also therewith the proof of our products into the aquaculture industry. With those efforts now fruiting the results. Livestock industry only opened in 2021 October for the use of proteins for specifically monogastric organisms, so pigs and poultry. And then if we, after the harvesting of the larvae from their rearing environment, we have products that we can apply to plant care, such as FRAS for fertilizer use. And last but not least, as we are a technology and genetics-oriented company as well, we're also helping other insect businesses around the world to ramp up and profit from improved genetic after our selection program. So for aquaculture, our offering is limited to Protein X and Lipid X. And as you can see in the grayed out area, Protein X and Lipid X are used in various markets. Toward the future, we believe in the differentiation of these products for the market. But for now, this is our offering from the Netherlands. And how do these high-performing functional ingredients work into a feed? Well, the high-performing functional ingredients offer a good starting point to produce high-performing feed. So feed producers cannot create ingredients that are better than what they take in. Therefore, it's very important to have a good starting point. Upon these ingredients, they can make high-performing feeds, which help farmers to benefit from improved animal health and performance, which in turn provides them optimized yields and for processors also improved product quality even. So in this way, we're not only helping the aquaculture producer, feed producer to thrive, but actually the whole value chain behind it. And in that sense, providing a sustainable business case for all involved. We're known in the market for a distinct level of quality, And that's really on the basis of a lot of scientific research, so hence proof of the functionality. Consistency of what we supply is very important to our clients. And eventually, through our completely integrated process under one roof, we're able to ensure high freshness and minimal processing impacts to deliver high in vitro and in vivo digestibilities. There are three main pillars underneath our technology and know-how, which are crucial to understand the quality and the consistency thereof, which are the wet processing that we apply, which in the end provides us the means to use mild processing conditions, retaining most of the biological value. We have a deep understanding of the feeding and preparing of the feed for the insects. We strictly use vegetarian raw materials. Under EU law, only vegetarian raw materials are allowed. And then you can think of byproducts from vegetable processing or fruit processing, such as potato byproducts in the production of chips and fries, beet byproducts in the production of sugar. You can think of bakery byproducts, so cereals, and you can think of, for example, brewing byproducts. Those are all vegetable originated processes that we can help to absorb the wastes from. And last but not least, I mentioned it already, genetics is a very important part under what we do, with a long-established robust colony in our factory, spanning many years, and through our genetics selection program, we're able to have very controlled breeding conditions. Now, how does this eventually come toward a farmer? What is very important, I think, for aquaculture is that on the one hand side, you're not only adding a new option to the basket, but actually you're offering a tool to the aquaculture value chain to improve their operations. And here are some examples of how we have shown in shrimp that we can help improve operations. For example, through increased palatability, so higher feed intake, increased survival through stimulation of the immune system, and that all then leads to higher yields in the field that we can calculate on a profitability basis. Here's a picture of the factory on the outside. And to give you a bit of an idea, we're aiming to expand toward Asian markets. So thank you very much for the invitation today to also share a little bit about this. Here's a factory from a different point of view. And for your information, the whole production process is under this same roof. We have feed intake in the white silos on the left, and the only thing that goes out of this factory are the ingredients that we produce. So in essence, we have this whole value chain, if you like, in the same building, starting with the breeding of flies, then hatching the eggs that we obtain, rearing and fattening the larvae until harvest, then separating them from their feed rearing environment, washing the larvae, and then ultimately processing them to a multitude of ingredients. And how this then eventually comes to the field is that we work together with our clients, as I mentioned at the beginning. So in, for example, shrimp value chains, we work with global players to improve on demands of not only the feed developers who have their, let's say, sustainability goals and desire to improve their products, but the whole value chain. And here is an example of how we work together with an international group of stakeholders spanning ingredient production, feed production, farming, import and processing, and retail to help meet the demands of highly demanding European consumers in this case. Another value chain, more local, other different type of production, not in ponds, but actually in tanks, where we were able to help the farmer, in this case, improve his performance by, for example, improving palatability, growth, and survival. So this is what I wanted to share with you today about Protix. for listening, and let's hope you all join the future of food today.
Thank you so much, Mr. Michel, for that fascinating and insightful presentation. It was truly inspiring to learn about Protethic's innovative approach to sustainable nutrition through black soldier fly technology. The videos gave us a clear understanding of the production process, and your explanation of its nutritional value and diverse applications across aquaculture and livestock sectors was extremely informative. We sincerely appreciate you for sharing your expertise and valuable insights with us today. Once again, thank you for your wonderful presentation. Now,
So,
without further delay, let us move on to our second speaker. Every generation of aquaculture faces a defining challenge. Today, one of the biggest is producing more nutritious food while reducing our dependence on finite natural resources. Our next speaker is helping answer that challenge by reimagining what goes into fish feed. It is my privilege to introduce Dr. Manish Jain, Senior Scientist in the Fish Nutrition, Biochemistry and Physiology Division, CIFE Bombay. Dr. Jain's research focuses on developing sustainable green feeds using agro-industrial byproducts as alternatives to conventional ingredients such as fish meal and soybean meal. His work explores how locally available resources can be transformed into nutritionally balanced feeds that support fish growth while reducing production costs and environmental impact. Please join me in warmly welcoming Dr. Manish Jain. Sir, the word.
Thank you, Sastri. I'm audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, just one minute. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Sastri, for giving me opportunity to talk on this topic. As already previous speaker already told about again, one more ingredients, the novel protein source which can be used in the fish feed or maybe other livestock. So similar to in a similar kind of thing, my topic is there. The protein concentrate isolates from the non-edible oilseeds as a novel alternate ingredients for the sustainable fish feed production. So, as introduction, I'll not go in much in details because already we know that the way the aquaculture is expanding, so we required at least ingredients to sustain for the future feed production. So among that thing, I can say the most of the ingredients we are using in the fish feed or shrimp feed is already facing challenges because those are available in the scar. And one more thing, conditions are there, the climate change issues are there, the production productivity issues are there, and one more thing, that is they are always having the competition with the livestock as well as human food industries. So in that condition, so we are currently I am working from last 8 to 10 years on these areas, and we are currently working on non-edibles, oilseed cakes and meals, because these edible oilseed and cakes meals, those are not used in any feed industries currently, other than human food or animal food or fish feed. So those are having no competition with any feed industries. One more thing, only one issues are there. Like what are the limitations? The presence of toxins are the mainly reasons because of these seeds cakes are not used in the fish feed. And one more things are there. So different technologies, extraction already chemical treatment, physical treatment already used, but still this use of these physical unavoidable oilseed cakes and meals are cannot be used, or maybe simply their use is prohibited in the fish feed. I'll go simply. So you can see here in the slide, these are the currently available non or edible oilseed and cakes or meals which are available in India. I'm talking about only India because those are available in plenty and nearby I can say 11 million tons of production is there in India of those ones. After extraction of oil, I can say nearby 65 to 70% of meal which is unused and used as a fertilizer or as a substrate for the pyrolysis in the different industries. So currently we are working on these seeds cake already, and we are worked on Karanja's cake, Jatropha, Castor, Neem cake, Jojoba, Mahua, and rubber seed. Or you can see in this diagram also whatever the major toxin or anti factors are available in the seed cakes is already given here. This seed contain good amount of proteins. We can see here in Kalanja near about 35% proteins are there. Jatropha 50 to 60% proteins are there. Castor containing nearby 45% protein. Neem cake 30%. Jojoba 40% protein. And Mahua cake 30% protein. And similarly, rubber seed, cotton seed, and salmi also contain good amount of proteins, which can be used for the animal feed. But only reasons only the things are there because toxins are too these toxins are whatever available. Example, I'm telling Jatropha. The foul esters are there. Those are harmful for the fishes, even animals. Castor will contain ricin, which is completely, you can say, which contain ricin is known as the most toxic substance available in the earth, and it's even LD50s will also in the very low quantity. For human, maybe also it's nearby 30 to 50 mg per kg body weight is it is there. Similarly, other fishes, other animals also values are reported. Okay, so we can see here the production values, production data here. The production data you can see here, the already majorly available the protein source are these sources are there. The already good amount of total production you can see here, seed, oil, and cake. So among that thing, castor and sal seed is there, which is having much more higher production, followed by Jatropha, Karanj, and cast rubber seed. And different method, physical method, chemical method, biology method, all things already applied. We tried those methods also to check the whether we can use these seeds after this treatment. Can we use this in the fish feed? But we found we are failed at a time. So further we have in plan because we require only protein. So can we go for a process where we can extract the protein from this oil seed cakes, and those protein can be used in the fish diet? So we are having this hypothesis, and further we can say, so we tried different method for this process, and we found that this isolate precipitation method was the best one for the oil seed cakes, especially for the non-edible oil seed cake. Still, I'm telling that there's some variation is there for each seed cake, but still we are following this method to prepare the protein isolates or concentrates of the non-edible oil seed cakes. And after this method, we can see, I can say that the protein content which was available nearby 30 to 40% of the oil cakes or meal, which it enhances to 85 to 95%. Nearby 2 to 3-fold increase was seen in the protein content of that food. Different, I'll come in later maybe, but I want to show here. As you can see, in different labs already also they also use the different isolates of concentrate. So here different protein content already given there, and it is found as a safe. We can use easily them in the fish feed, or we can replace either fish meal or soybean meal. So different examples I'm quoting here. And one more thing, yes, one minute. Yes. Similarly, just 1 minute, I'll share something. Yeah. Similarly, the protein content of these things, like castor and all things are given here. So we can use these protein, just 1 minute. So we can use this one as a just 1 minute. I will share more slide with you. So this slides doesn't contain what I required. Just 1 minute. Yeah, you can see here. Yeah. the intervention factors in available is non-edible seed cake. Example, Jatropha contain phoboester. And after that one isolate, maybe we have to check that isolate nearby 90-95% demand was there. Similarly, Jatropha, common Jatropha content, it doesn't contain the phoboester. Rubber protein isolate is there. So you can see here, just here cyanide is up to 75%, 67% it was reduced. Similarly, for neem said we save standard nearby meal content 160 mg or and isolate content nearby 46 mg. And similarly, you can see the current one in isolate it was not detected. And in case of castor protein isolate, it was nearby 95% reduction of the resin content was seen in the this one. And these are the toxicity effect. It is there. If suppose these are available in the seed cake, then what will happen? Suppose cyanides are available, so what will happen? It will cause a poisoning. Poisoning is there, or maybe if long term it is there, so it cause maybe long term consumption, maybe gutter decompose. Similarly, if resin is there, if it is available beyond the LD50 values, then you can say it simply blocks the protein synthesis at finally enable death would be there. Similarly, phoboester again simply it block the phospholipid protein synthesis, which also affect the animal very adversely. Collagen especially immobilize the red plus red cell, and egg beacons are there. That is known for the beta test. And these are the amino acid composition that we have found that Jatropha, rubber, current protein, neem seed proteins are there, in castor and soy protein. So these, whatever the amino acids content are there, this isolated protein content is comparable with the soy protein isolate as well as fish meal. Similarly, the different diets, the ADC, digestibility of these proteins is always good when in case of Jatropha is nearby 94%, 84 to 90%. In case of rubber, 86%. In case of Jatropha, again, and it can easily substitute nearby 75 to 100% fish meal or soy protein isolate, soy proteins in the fish diet. So this is the condition of this one. So I'm sharing my ideas only. Okay. So I'm welcoming for questions. Any questions you are having, so you can ask any questions now. No issue there. Thank you, everyone. Hello, Mrs. Christie. Hello. Hello. Anyone is there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Asta.
Dr. Manish Jayant. Thank you, Dr. Manish Jayant, for such an insightful presentation on transforming non-edible oilseed byproducts into high-quality protein ingredients. Your work on using advanced processing methods have to overcome toxins and improved feed digestibility is a game changer for the eco-friendly aquaculture. We truly appreciate you sharing your expertise with us today. Now,
Yes.
with that, we have come to the conclusion of the presentation segment of today's technical session. And over the past 2 hours, we have traveled through the diverse dimension of aquatic nutrition, from nutrient requirement and sustainable feed development to alternative protein sources. And each speaker has shown that nutrition is far more than a component of production. It is a driving force behind sustainability, innovation, resilience, and global food security. So rather than concluding the conversation here, we would now like to bring all our distinguished speakers to our engaging and thought-provoking panel discussion, which is the most exciting part of the today's program. And this is an opportunity for our speakers to reflect on one another's ideas, explore common challenges, and share their vision for the future of fisheries and aquaculture. To our participants, we warmly encourage you to be part of this discussion. If you have a question, please raise your virtual hand or type it in the chat box. box. Kindly introduce yourself and keep your question brief so that we can accommodate as many participants as possible. With that, let's begin.
While our participants gather their thought, I would like to continue with the session. I would like to ask Dr. Manish Uh, question. Sir, among different non-edible oil seeds you mentioned, like Jatropha and castor, which one has shown the greatest potential for producing high-quality protein isolates? And what are the factors which influence this?
Both seeds are good, maybe I can say, but the castor is having more toxicity compared to Jatropha. But
Okay.
I can say, fortunately, we came across that only concern is there the production of castor. Nearby, you can imagine 1.4 or 1.5 million tons of castor meal is available annually in the country, and it is used as a waste. There is a no importance for this waste, maybe. Okay, so we are already currently we are working with the industries to convert this I can say meal into the valuable products because reasons are there because companies are using as a you can imagine substrate for the pyrolysis in the in the boilers they are using as a substrate just like woods are there so simply they are burning reasons are only reason is there because this is too toxic for this one and we can't use we can't think because initially when I took these problems initially so it was the only one issue that everyone concerning that whether I will be confirmed to eradicate or detoxify this customer or not. But finally, when our products came and finally the results came, we were shocking and we were very happy at that. Okay, last I can say 7 to 8 years. Currently, we are working. I'm working this land, and in future, if castor will be coming, the reason most abundantly this commercial crop is there and is very much important. And even our Prime Minister and the government of India is thinking to uh, use this castor meal because so much waste is there. Okay, and this the price is nearby 6 to 7 rupees per kg. Uh, some some intervention from our side, and this can be used as a valuable source for the livestock fisheries in the coming future. So in coming future, maybe within 3 to 4 years, we are exporting the products which is available in the market. Okay. So maybe CASA I'm telling, Jatropha in future coming future, it will come. But production data I still not there with the Jatropha. Reliance Industries is already working with the Jatropha, but in future maybe they will come with the and the data will be sufficient for the Jatropha. Then I'm also again will come for Jatropha. Already we worked on Jatropha. We have data for that thing, but still we are waiting. Maybe something big will come because plantation was done in the last 10 years before, nearby 2011, 12. Now we are waiting at least crop will come, then data will be more, then it will be beneficial for the fish farmers as well as industries. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It's a very good initiative, and you are breaking that traditional mindset of people out and trying to make feed out of non-edible seed oils. It's a very good initiative. Thank you, sir. So, from the audience, we have one question. Sadaya Victor. Yes, you may ask the question.
I have a question for both of our speakers. Do fish meal is really necessary for the vegetarian fish, like carbs? Our IMC are vegetarians, and why people are insisting? Is it for input to increase the price, or the biology doesn't need, or it need?
Fish meal, just one more thing is there. Fish meal is a currently is a very precious commodity currently, I can say. Because in the future it won't be available because it would be available, I can say, but it will prices will be very high. And in the case of calves, generally in commercial diet, no one is using fish meal currently in India. And especially I'm talking about omnivore fishes or carnivore fishes. The researchers or maybe industries are using fish meal, but not in case of calves, maybe. In fish, so but in some research papers we are found in that in calves also fish meal is being used, but at commercial level it is not used.
Yeah. Yeah, and even if it's used commercially elsewhere, it might be not for just a reason of bulk nutrition, then it might be for functional reasons. So you may think of specific marine, let's say, components that are in the fish meal that can help to boost palatability or other functional effects. It might be a reason to include it, but it does indeed. I agree with Dr. Manish that it might be an expensive solution right now. If it's not necessary, then commercially it will likely not be done.
Thanks. Thank you, sir.
So the next question to our speakers, which our panelists have prepared, right? What are the major challenges which you face while scaling up the isoelectric precipitation processes from laboratory to research and then to commercial production?
Yeah, there is a multitude of challenges. I think what is a main challenge that is between ingredient suppliers and feed industry is that the feed industry is already at scale, and they always want solutions that fit their scale. It need to be realistic solutions. So the first challenge I think for a new raw material is to figure out a way to stay in conversation while delivering maybe not at the scale that is desired yet. I think that's the first major challenge. It's the challenge of scale. Second challenge is price. If you want to develop something, if you need additional processing, like for example with insects, they are purposely grown for the use in aquaculture. There is costs of development, and who is going to bear those costs of R&D? It may be easier to take raw materials that already have a currently very low value and then further process them and refine them for aquaculture use, because maybe then it would make direct sense and be at scale. So I think it's very challenging to develop novel raw materials from the ground up. And in the testing process, I think a lot of things can also be optimized further. So where we see that it's not always clear how the innovation management system in a feed company is, I think there is one step that is often jumped. So you start with the ideation. You assess the wealth of opportunities and ideas that might be solutions or strategic projects further down the line. And then from these ideas, you check initially, okay, do they fit what we need? And then I think the point of quality is often skipped. So people do not assess properly if the technology behind the alternative that they're looking for is something that can deliver quality ingredients stably. Because there is nothing more important for a fish feed operation producing 300-400 tons of feed per day to have a stable source for this 300 or 400 tons. If the technology from the onset already does not show potential to become stable, you will therefore invite very unstable supply into your production system. And it's something that I feel the aqua feed industry can actually look into a little bit further before they engage with startups or alternative ingredient producers. So the point of quality and stability. But if you move beyond that, then obviously it becomes more a commercial discussion. So you need to show in the field the effectivity of your raw material. If that is a bulk protein source, It's really from a nutritional perspective, digestion and growth. And if it is an ingredient like ours, where we have functionalities, then obviously we need to make sure to include the raw material at the right place and time. So when is this functionality desired? It might not be through the whole cycle. Maybe it's only juveniles or during certain seasons, especially in the tropics. You have, of course, a strong seasonality effect on performance. So there might be different, let's say, commercial scale trials that would need to be done to validate a raw material in the field before you can actually strategically implement the material. This is how I see sort of the innovation management pipeline from our perspective as a feed ingredient producer that has been around for a little bit. And I think there are some improvements that we as an industry, between us and our partners, can actually improve.
Thank you, sir. Before I go to my other participants who want to ask questions, can you cite one small example, like how did you tackle this challenge personally?
Yeah, it's a very good question. It's investing in the beginning. So I think what Protix did really well, even before my time that I joined, is attract the right type of investor. You really need a long-term horizon to play in aquaculture. And that's not just about building of facilities, but I think also about the development of the technology that you need. It's a fundamental requirement for your business to have enough financial funds to make it through on the long term. So you need investors that are committed and that understand the opportunity that you present. Then an example of taking it to the next step is that you will also need to invest in doing your homework. And with that, I mean, you need to understand really, really well what is happening in your process, what is happening on your inputs. For example, if you use the products that Dr. Manish mentioned, I think it's very important to understand what the fluctuation is so that you can also manage your process accordingly. And then also to measure what comes out, to have an idea on what are we actually producing. And maybe in that process, you will find out there is a lot of functional value retained within your product. And obviously, then it makes even more sense to market that value and show the proof. So then you need to invest in doing research, starting with the basics. So for example, we started with a lot of palatability and digestibility work. And further, then we moved into lab scale trials where you do, for example, dose response type studies to find what is the optimum level that I can advise my clients to start testing within the field. So we are currently in that process. We have done for shrimp very recently. I showed you the slide. You could see in the link in the bottom left corner there were some references, and one of the first publications came out this year. So now we're going to partners, and there obviously again it is a point of investment, co-investment, on doing a larger scale trial together. So let's say financial support is going to be a pivotal part of bringing novel ingredients forward. And Dr. Manish, I'm curious to hear how this is also from your perspective with the solutions that you're investigating.
Dr. Michael, we are also working similarly. So currently you are working with the industry. So that industry and the initially trial we conducted nearby 7 to 8 edible seed we use, and especially we use single species currently. Raw Lebiota we use initially, and currently now, but nowadays we already we last month maybe already discussed with the meeting, and we are going to having some trial on zebrafish to also check this toxicity levels, because in food fish you already test, but while recommending as a safe level for the fish feed or animal or any livestock studies, some toxicity studies are required with the zebrafish. So we'll go for studies, and one toxicologist with already we are working with them. So maybe even industries are there. So we are using R&D with of those industries, and currently working in contract project with those industries here. In future, maybe not now, I'm telling. So only one issues are there because this method is there now. Method, and we are working in Mumbai. Humidity, the first issue. Second thing, we are using the acid bases at the regular intervals. So corrosion of the instruments are the major issues we found. And in future, maybe as per that, whatever the issue we found, so we are modifying our instrument. That thing again, maybe we are working. And in future, maybe just we are also waiting. Once this level of the as the level is these ingredients used in the fish feed or any animal feed, we found is safe, then we can further go for the commercialization process of these things because our industries are always preferring here. In India also it is a similar issue because in the the one ingredient is not available throughout the India. So whatever these sources are available, we can optimize those sources and we can go further in the fish feed or shrimp feed. So further trials are required because toxins are the always the concern with the this non-edible seed. As name suggests, is non-edible means something is there which prevent animals to eat it. Okay, that's where we are working that thing. So maybe we are hoping maybe within 2-3 years will come with a completely as a robust technology which will be useful for the this industry. So these are the my because we are having some this one I can say some copyrights something already we signed some MOUs so we are having something in that thing so I can't tell in the tell all those things here maybe but these things are there. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now I invite my co-host to ask questions to our panel speakers.
So I want to ask both the speakers, like from both your perspectives, like which feed alternative, like plant byproducts or insect meal, is closer to becoming a low cost and widely available as the traditional feed ingredients?
Can I start now? Can I
Yes.
start first? Okay. After maybe I can say the both technologies are having the potential because both technology are based on the waste utilization. Okay, so whatever we can say insect-based meals are there, especially the BCFL is there, and other meals may be also available. So I can say it is both things are having a potential. Only one things are there. Initially, innovation required money, time, and everything. When it will come on a pilot scale, so whatever the things are there, it will be available at cheaper prices. Okay, but we have to go for the very large scale. Then only we can go further. Okay. One more thing is there. This work on this one alternative feeding grants or work not now. Last 50-60 years, the one things are only one thing is that researchers are working on non-edible, simple non-conventional or conventional feed resources. Only one issue is there. After working in publication, the material, everything will be in the I can say it will remain same. Once the research issues are there, this publication came, everything left something there. Period is over, everything left similar. Means researchers are doing, but till last stages, till now maybe, because I can say 50-60 years before in India also, and throughout the world, so many ingredients has been tested as well. But commercial level, maybe I can say one or two ingredients are still not available. This is the only issue here. The only one thing is that the worker or researcher who are working in the similar lines, at least those things should be continued till those ingredients are should not be available for the industries. If in future it might be possible, but in current way, I can check. Okay, insect meal when introduced to India when we are working because initially we also thought to work on that thing, and currently also we are working. But when at a time the per kg insect meal price nearby 300-400 per kg here. Now it reduced nearby 130 140 per kg because so many startups has been come to taking those things. Nowadays, control insect meals are produced in India in controlled environment. And they're selling those products at 100 rupees per kg. It's a defeated insect meal, basically. Similarly, we can say when it will go in large scale, similarly in future it will come in the account here. So I told already, similarly it will be case with the non-edible oilseed cake. So India, I'm just initially I'm focusing on castor, and further again I'll go for the next seeds too. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Maybe from my side to add on insects, I think I can really talk about that perspective. I think we need all solutions. So it's not either or. I think we need all the raw materials we can get to grow aquaculture sustainably. And I think it's actually there is a lot of beauty in the interaction between these raw materials. So what we've seen, for example, for insects, is that we can improve palatability and immunity. And that might go hand in hand with maybe another vegetable protein source, which is very cost competitive, but might have negative effect on palatability. Maybe the combination of these raw materials will actually enable the next generation of growth in aquaculture and therewith also in food supply to our growing global population. Will it be a price-driven growth? I don't think necessarily it's always about cost, because for any business case, we are looking at cost as an investment. So it's really about the return on investment and therefore the value that you're bringing with your raw materials. And I think that's where the solution really lies, looking at the value and how do these things really combine. And that's where the aquafeed companies have their expertise, of course. They understand the different raw materials and how to blend these. So yeah, it's not a very black and white answer, unfortunately, but I think it's an answer about collaboration, and all the options are needed to make it work.
Astha, your mic is muted. Thank you so much. So the next question, which our team would like to ask both of the speakers, as majority of our attendings are students. So what are the key factors students as researchers should focus while developing alternative protein ingredients so that they are both nutritionally efficient and also economically viable?
I think from a R&D perspective, I already shared some insights, and I will maybe repeat it from a different perspective. So what I think is very important and sometimes forgotten is, okay, what's the business case? So beyond only the nutrition, how does the business case look? And work together with experts in the field commercially producing feeds, because they may have a different opinion on how to include certain raw materials. But don't let yourself be discouraged maybe if everybody always looks at the cost of protein per or let's say the price of the raw material per percent point of protein, because I think that's a view that is too narrow. But also look beyond that. So how is actually this composition of the raw material? I find sometimes reading publications about new raw materials like insects, but also other raw materials that I've worked with myself, or maybe through friends who are active in the R&D field, we forget to look into what is actually in the product. So what are molecules that might be actually highly valuable? Molecules that animals need or maybe don't have an essential need for, like, let's say, essential amino acids, but maybe there are specific compounds that do help animals in stressful periods of time, because we know that in aquaculture, there's so much fluctuation in the field, in the farming, that health is under pressure. So if you have something that can contribute there, that may actually contribute meaningfully to your research. And make your work so much more valuable than just looking into, for example, the digestibility or a growth experiment. But maybe trying to understand the raw material in the first place better will add significant value to your work. That would be my invitation to the students and researchers that are here today.
Thank you, sir.
Inputs are there. that suppose anyone want to work on these areas, only one things are there. The first thing you should know, a student should know how much amount of raw material is available. First thinking. The concern is there. Suppose a country which is having very less production of any raw material, and you're going for research, is a no means. If it's not available, even you can say 1 ton or 2 tons or 3 tons, or maybe 10,000 tons, because feed requirements for the fishes or maybe other livestock also matters. Just see maybe okay. One thing is there. First thing, the students must focus that the ingredient they are choosing at least, or resources they are choosing at least having the good amount of production which is commercially available. Second thing is there, whatever the intrusive factors or toxins are available in those and the unconventional sources. So students must understand the at least fundamental biochemistry of those intrusive factors, because whatever method will be applied, it is based on their biochemistry only. Okay, suppose anyone using the peptides are there, or maybe some proteinaceous natures are there. So we can use fermentations there, heat treatments are there. So again, treatments, how much amount is required, it should be standardized. Okay, simply we have to not jump maybe. Everything, suppose any work we are doing, it should be in a strategic manner that everything should be standardized from the first point of time. And at last, whenever the technology is ready, then only we go further. Okay, this is my concern only. Reasons may because I'm also saying, because okay, I'm also working in the academic institute. Students are working on different things. Only one is issue there after 6 months, 3 years, or maybe their work. Only one conditions are that the ingredients, whatever raw materials are there, it is not available in the plenty. Raw material supply should be always considered while choosing such type of research. Only one concern is there. At least should be in lakh ton, 1,000 tons, something like that, so we can go further. Okay. Yeah? Then only we can go jump in that thing. Otherwise, this example I'm telling, this one here, insect meal here. It's a very good example because it's a biological. Okay. Insect can go further. Whatever their eggs, maybe larvae we are getting, those things we can use further. Okay, it's a continuous process. Okay, supply raw material supply is the mainly issue for that thing there. If you ensure the raw material is supplied throughout the year, or at least some months, 6 months, 7 months, then only we can go further. Otherwise, there's a no issue here. There's a no need to go further. Otherwise, they can choose other topics for the research. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We have a question from our audience for our speakers. The question is, relying much on biotic components such as insects will not disturb the ecological balance or result in overexploitation.
I don't think so, maybe here, because we are okay. We are promoting here, maybe Dr. Michael also told maybe insect meals. We are producing it. We are not maybe going in the nature maybe here. They should, whatever the productions are, they should be in control conditions. So whatever it should not maybe. Okay, one more thing is that insect meals are there, no? So they use whatever the waste materials are there. The remaining vegetables, whatever the markets are there, waste is there, the fruit waste, vegetable waste, those even food waste is there. Those things can be used as a substrate for the production of insect meals. Okay, so suppose any company is going for that thing, so it will help to ensure as a circular economy only. So whatever the waste is produced, it can be utilized here. Okay, so here there won't be any environmental issue here. Okay, only one thing is that it should be done in the control conditions. So company should adhere to the the depth of the
Yeah, exactly. I fully agree. I resonate that message, and I think depends really if you're looking at other types of products like maybe vegetables. You could of course be concerned about the clearing of land to make more acreage to produce. I think a very important part there is, of course, to look at production efficiencies. So not only look at the type of product and the potential solution for aquaculture, but look beyond that and also look at, okay, how do we then optimize this system of growth? And I think that's what insects have already looked into. So they actually started from the perspective, okay, how do we make this sustainable for the long term? And I think Dr. Manish's point is completely fair that we do use indeed byproducts, wastes that are already there, and maybe the mixture of those wastes will change for us to the future. So we will, on our side, on our research, of course, be ready for this and test all these other types of waste that may be there in 20, 30 years from now. But as long as we're producing under control conditions and not harvesting wild insects, then I do not see any chance for overexploitation or disturbance in ecological balance from the insect side. And I think that goes for all the other raw materials as well. I think if you control the production and think about how is this going to be scalable or sustainable for the future, then you can actually overcome these potential challenges very early on.
Thank you, sir. One more question to both of our speakers. Although you people have answered this question partially, but still I want to ask you again, like with sustainability becoming a global priority, like what emerging trends or innovations in feed technology excite you the most over the next 5 to 10 years?
Can you repeat the question?
Yes, sir. Like with sustainability becoming a global priority, what emerging trends or innovations in feed technology excite you the most over the next 5 to 10 years?
See, I can say maybe sustainability trend is there. I can say this is no trend here. It term is there. It means maybe responsibility here. Sustainability means the whatever the natural source or resources are there, it should be used in a sustainable manner. I can say responsible manner, so further generation can use those things here. Okay, so these things maybe my answer is there. At least we should be more responsible towards our coming generations because so much things happen. Yeah, we can see so many things. Climate change is there, rainfall pattern. You can say so many things in technical progress at the currently around the globe. Only one thing is that sustainability research will be there because scientists, researchers want to know in future whatever the generations are there, at least they should able to explore those things or not here. Then only these things will be there here. If you are one example, simple example for the fisheries, we can say fisheries. You capture the fisheries. This is the conditions. We do we exploit how exploited pure natural sources now come for the this one sustainable conditions here. Similarly, whatever the conditions are there, it should be used in the responsible manner. Only my term sustainable responsibility should be together for the future generation. Thank you.
I think adding to that, on my side, what I'm excited about is the increasing understanding of nutritional requirements and evaluation of nutrient composition of ingredients. So looking beyond, let's say, crude energy, but towards net energy and net deliverance of nutrients. And on the same time, I also believe that we will see a lot of interesting developments in the technological preparation of the feed, harmful conditions, because as we know, pelletizing and extruding, it's a lot of temperature pressure, shear stress onto the ingredients. And all of us have at some point in our life cooked a meal. We all know that if you turn up the heat too high and leave your food too long in the pot, it will burn. It will become unhealthy. And the same goes for fish. So I think with our increasing understanding on the technologies of production of feed, we will also be able to retain more of the biological value. So I think these are very interesting developments for the future, and they will help sustainability directly because we will be able to then use our inputs to more efficiency and waste less of these beautiful inputs that we already have.
Thank you, sir. Your approach of this answer was very good, and especially putting it in a layman language like sustainable sustainability to a layman language like responsibility. That was a very good approach. Thank you for answering. Now I'll invite my co-host to ask questions to our panel speakers. Devati.
Um, Manish sir, have one question to you, sir.
Yes, yes,
Uh, you are doing such an amazing work and emerging work also. And you are extracting, isolate, concentrate, all the things. You are including in aqua feed and livestock feed also doing in veterinarian people. What about humans, sir? Is there any possibility to add in human diet?
currently I can't say. Reason because research will be required in future. First, that's why I told now some research on zebrafish is we are working currently. To some extent, after some years only we can say whether it will be used for the human or not. Okay, so I can't say now because suppose I am agreeing now, then it won't be as in hurry. Yeah, I can't say it's now the conditions here. Just wait, maybe research will be there. Whatever the years will see, then we'll go further here.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
I'm audible now? Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
So the next question for our panel speaker is like if you could recommend one research area, like you people are working on non-edible oil feed and insect meal for protein sources. Like if you could recommend one research area in sustainable nutrition that deserves more attention, what would it be and why?
I'll recommend maybe gut health.
That
You
helps.
can, if suppose anyone want to work in future related to this alternative protein source or maybe other sources, you can go with the gut health or gut microbiome studies because these things are mainly because we considering this gut microbiome as a essential now we considering it's essential organ because it simply affect growth, health as well as physiology of the fishes. Even maybe in human also it is there. Okay. So in case of fishes, this area is maybe in coming future it will be there. So we are also working in similar line, but still so much gaps are there, so it should be addressed there. Okay. One more thing, okay. This is the my area suggestion by me. Okay.
I have,
Michelle, sir.
I feel that there may be a lot more to learn in the fundamental nutrition sciences. So really looking at how are the kinetics in the animal, how are ingredients digested, and what's the interaction effects that are happening in our system. I think that's a very important field. And then secondly, which directly relates to this field, is the understanding of the raw material. I think a lot of the science that I'm seeing are application studies. So we understand the fundamentals that we know of today, and we are applying raw materials and then trying to explain on the basis of our existing knowledge what is happening. But I feel that sometimes we really don't know enough about the composition of raw materials and specifically why one raw material works different than the other, though that on a, let's say, complete composition basis, they look very similar. I think there's a lot more to learn in this side.
Thank you, sir. Now I want to ask one more question. Like, uh, when you obtain the protein isolates from raw material, like what further processing is required before they can be safely incorporated into aquaculture or livestock feed?
Really, our hypothesis was there initially. Whatever the proteins are available, okay, so we are working currently in the non-edible seeds capability. Generally, we have seen there that the adaptability very good for this one. One more thing, toxins. In case of Jetrava, we observed that Fabulosa is still maybe it was higher, but in other cases, we found that it was almost detoxified. In case of 95% removal of those toxins are there, those are removed in their thing, because the process required steps are there, alkyl treatments are there, the acidic treatments are there, even the washings are there. So whatever the chemical natures are there, those can be applied very well. So maybe after, I can say, after preparation of these isolates, only we are checking the pH first thing, how much pH is there, the final product. If it is acidic in nature, then we are utilizing that pH. One thing is there. Second, maybe second only one more thing. This suppose second one, I'm telling one more. In case of Jetrova, we found a concentrate. We found that in Jetrova, that polyester was not completely detoxified. In that condition, we went with the fermentation, first fermentation, a condition here. We thought maybe then we searched some papers, research, maybe we just go through the reviews and found some species of fungi. It can be used to detoxify that thing. Okay. Generally, in that condition, we use aspergillus nicer. That thing. Only one issue was there when we are using aspergillus nicer. The meal color becomes completely as a darkish color in the nature. Only that was the disadvantage of the final product. Otherwise, it was okay.
Michelle, sir, you want to add something to this?
No, I think that was something that I fully.
Okay. So we have participants who wants to ask question. Akansha Tiwari, please proceed.
Hello, I'm Akanksha Tiwari. I'm a PhD scholar actually, and for my master's, I've worked on larval nutrition, and for my PhD work as well, I am doing something that I'm going to be working on fries only. So I have actually during my master's, when I tried to feed, actually I didn't have to extend their survivability, so I've just fed them the egg custard that we usually feed our larvas. But the survivability is really low, and I don't want to repeat that same mistake in my PhD. So I want some advices. What can I do that it can enhance the survivability, minimize the mortality of the larva? What can I enhance and feed? What can I do feed them that it can minimize the mortality? Do you have any advice?
That's a very good question. So I'm not involved in the feeding of our larvae so much, so I think I can be of little use, though I would advise you to look into the direction of published research where they have this standardized diet. I think they call it Schmidt diet. There is a diet which researchers from some groups from Europe are promoting as a standardized diet for the rearing of black soldier fly larvae, so that at least we know that the feed that the larvae have been growing on is similar as the feed in the other papers. You might want to look into this specific subject because it might help you also increase your performance of the larvae, as it is already a sort of standard and approved feed.
Okay, sir.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
On which fish you worked?
In masters, I've worked on zebrafish actually, and now I'm planning on working on Nile tilapia.
Nile tilapia. Just do one thing, no? Just
working with insects.
Okay. Okay, just do one thing in Akansha. Just check the ontogeny of the larval gut system first. Okay. Second thing is that a mouth size. Mouth size you have to estimate for the larvae. And third thing, in which at where you are working currently?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear
you. Where are you working currently?
I'm working at RPCAU.
RPCAU, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So do one thing, na? Only you think maybe just check the ontogeny of the larvae first. Second, focus on the mouth size. And third thing, the particle size of the feed. It's the major things only. And one more thing is
Yeah.
there. Okay, one more thing is there. You should use some binders, some coating agent to minimize the leaching. Okay, one thing only. One more thing. We focus on this one. The shift transition. The natural diet to artificial diet is then on which date you to provide the feed. You should know date thinking. Because in most of the larvae we have found it from 14 to 16 days is there. After that
Yes, sir.
only
Actually,
you can feed the fishes here. Especially larvae I'm telling. Okay. You can feed larvae after 12 days, 12 to 14 days, so maybe later on that thing. Yeah. Reason is there after, because we assuming that after 14 days only, in most of the fishes, the completely gut has been formed here. The gut has been developed after only 14 days something here. Whatever the enzyme systems are there, those are assembled after 14 to 15 days only here. If suppose before that thing you are giving that any feed, so it won't be acceptable
hello.
with larvae for hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Actually,
Oh,
in between what you're saying, your voice broke. Actually, sir, I have been researching on all those things that you mentioned.
okay. Hello.
Directly start the artificial feeding. There are some data that are available that we can just directly start the artificial feeding on it from like day 5. So I
I don't
don't
think so.
know.
Maybe. Post the etching, at least we are okay. In our labs also we are recommending that nearby after 12 to 13 days onwards only you can start the feeding.
Yes, sir.
After 12 or 13 days only, DPH after day post harvest the hatching, 12 or 13 days later only
Okay.
you can start the feeding. In the meantime, whatever the feedings are there, you can feed them with algae or rotifers initially, yeah, based on their feeding habits only. Huh? In case of zebrafish, you can say use rotifers
Yeah.
initially. Yeah. And later on, you can shift them. Yeah. The larvae, because mouse size larvae are already much more lower compared to other fishes here, zebrafishes.
Yeah.
Okay, just focus on that. Reason only the things are there in the case of larval nutrition. If you want to contact Dr. Shivaramakrishna is there. Dr. Shiva Ramakrishnan is there.
Okay.
Currently, he's working at CIFA, Bhubaneswar.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, just
Okay.
contact him. Just give my reference if
Okay.
possible.
I'll just
Okay.
contact you and then we can get
No,
from
no,
there.
surely no issue. Okay, you can contact me anytime. Okay.
Thank
You
you.
can take
Thank you.
my number maybe from Revati is there, no? Revati.
Yeah.
Revati Asta. They are my students only. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So just contact them. They'll provide you my number. Then I'll send you the Shivaramakrishna number. Then you contact him because he is currently working with the larvae. And one more person is there, Dr. Rakhi Kumari.
Yeah.
She's also from the Bihar. Okay, so you can also contact her. She has worked on with the Chennai specific. Currently, she's working.
Mhm.
Okay, so you can contact both of them because Shivaramakrishna is having expertise in the larval nutrition in the freshwater fishes. Madam is having the expertise in the larval nutrition for the catfishes. Further, okay.
Okay. Definitely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now, from our co-host, Astha has question to ask. Astha?
So my question is that like what problem or obstacle one face like when trying a feed recipe of university into the commercial products and like farmers are very scared of trying a new feed, so how we can convince them to accept the feeds new plant ingredient or an insect based feeds.
What is very important is that you start with a formula that is actually commercially used. So you should maybe ask them for more information on the feed that they are using, formulate your trials around it, and approach it from semi-commercial or commercial conditions. So maybe not on an aquarium scale, but then do the trial at a scale that is meaningful to them. I think that is very, very powerful. And I think there is indeed a difference between farmers. So you might want to look for more innovative farmers or farmers that are seeing a challenge and would like to contribute. So maybe they can join in a grant. It could also help them in financially covering the costs that they are making. Maybe they would even be willing to do the trial themselves then, with your guidance on the scientific assessment of the trial.
I'm also agree with Dr. Manu. Only reasons are there, na? Suppose you have to choose a farmer who is ready to adopt the technology, first thing here. And suppose you want to convince the farmer, then if convince them that if suppose they are using 2 ponds, so 1 pond they can use the commercial feed and 1 pond they can use whatever the feed developed by the any university. Okay, in that condition, there is a comparison with the same farm, the same fish will be there, pond condition they were there, same condition, the same feed will be tested at the same place here. So if the yields are promising, then farmers can go further. Otherwise, only one issue is there because aquaculture, no, we are feeding aquaculture, okay, in pond condition. Whatever feed we are giving, say suppose it is a floating feed, then only farmers can observe. Otherwise, whether we can't observe whether fishes are taking feed or not here. I'm talking about this one here. Okay. Only conditions are there if farmers always fears whatever amount, because he has to spend most amount for the feed. Okay, and he don't want any losses. Okay, so just the first things are there. We should find the farmers who is ready to take the land, because only that condition will be there. Otherwise, okay.
Thank you very much. And I have one more question. Like these ingredients, like plant-based and insect-based, can we keep through these ingredients only naturally? We can boost their immune system, fish immune, and without needing any additional additives like immunostimulants or anything. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
sorry,
yes.
but I wanted to say that I have to go to my next meeting. 2-hour window slot is over, and for me,
Okay, sir.
so I really have to move on. Wish to thank the organization from my side, and also the audience for the interaction. It was really a pleasure to be part of this event. Good luck to all of you in the audience with your endeavors after this beautiful event. I hope everybody will be very successful and we meet each other at the next aquaculture meetings. Have a great day.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, sir. Can you repeat the question once again?
My question was naturally how these ingredients can build the immune of a fish without adding any additional immunostimulants or additives.
Depend on nature, maybe the first thing. Okay. First thing is their nutrients. Whatever nutrients we are providing, we should fulfill the requirements. Okay. The nutrients are not only for the this one maintenance, growth and reproduction. It cover even immunity also. We are telling now if we are providing good nutrition, means fish is having the good growth here. Okay. Second thing is there. Okay. Generally, 4 things are there. It will depend. Okay. Reasons are there. Just I'm giving examples. In case of carps, or generally carps are there, or even tilapia is there, fungus are there. No one is using fish meal. No one is using fish meal currently in commercial diet. No one is using fish meal. But think fishes are taking feed, or maybe they are taking they're using the phytoplankton, zooplankton, insect, whatever available in the water column, simply. And whatever commercial feed we are giving them, still they are healthy here. Only one condition that are there. Just suppose we are using plant-based ingredients only. In that condition, only one thing are there, because each ingredients are having toxins ऐसा नहीं है. Even soybean is there, na? Regular use of soybean also having the issues. You see in that intestine, there's inflammation in the intestine we have observed. Okay, in that condition, what you have to feel? Suppose one more thing is there. I told you maybe last time also, concept of additives in the instruments are there. But at what level you have to use, at what purpose you have to use, you should confirm first. Yeah. Suppose you have to provide immunity, to what purpose you have to provide immunity? Because 1 year, suppose nothing is happened to fishes, then it's okay. If prophylactic measures has been taken, suppose you are giving any treatments, any challenges are given for fishes. Example, you are stocking at higher stocking density. In that condition, you provide something which can protect the fishes for the environment or stocking density or whatever the challenges fish faced by the fishes. But in natural condition, there is no need to give any addition. So one more thing is that I told maybe the additives, stimulant, these things are available, but generally, whatever the higher value fishes are there, then only we are using those one here. We are not using any additives or maybe this in stimulants, provide is anything for the carp culture, fungaceous culture, simply. If anyone is suggesting, then simply tell farmers don't use because those fishes are much more hardy than the thing. If you want to use for the highly commercial value fishes, or shrimp maybe. Shrimp only we are using generally and high value commercial value fishes we are using these additives especially here. And one more thing, reasons are there because plant-based ingredients and animal-based ingredients, the composition is completely different. Generally, we are assuming that animal-based, whatever the protein source are there or ingredients are there, they are having the much more better than the plant source. Reason, whatever the minerals, vitamins, amino acids, fatty acids, all those are available in this one. But in case of plant, you can say lysine vitamin is deficient. You have to supplement every time. Tryptophan is deficient. You have to supplement each and every time. Similarly, you have to think and go further. Okay, Asta?
Thank you very much, sir.
Sir, I have a question, sir.
Yes, sir.
Actually, I do aquaculture, the freshwater carps and tilapia, it's a polyculture. My culture, the space is around, you can say around 300 acres. It's around 150 hectare, something around that.
Okay.
Open lake. It's a lake. It's a lake. We have a lot of plants are there. The vegetation is there, and we still go for the circular economic model, like we use for the agriculture waste we dump there. But what kind of nutrition we mean for additives we can add? We use our vegetable waste and everything in it, but still we are not getting an optimum growth in a time of
in pearl culture, no? In the pearl culture, generally pearls are there, no? Hello? You're doing pearl culture?
Polyculture.
Polyculture, okay. Polyculture, okay. Polyculture, yeah, hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yeah, you are audible, sir.
Okay, just a minute. So what type of feed you are using there? What kind of
Sir,
feed?
we don't use feeds, but because it's a 150 hectare, it's around 300 acres.
Oh, 300 acres, just like MMB. This is my reservoir.
It's kind of a reservoir, but we call here
Reservoir.
it's a lake, not it's kind of reservoir.
It's
We
a
will go
natural
for
source?
the natural source, natural source.
So are you allowed to put a feed or something in that one?
Yeah, we are allowed. We are allowed.
Are you sure? Maybe in cage culture we are putting those feeds, everything that as a count component. But I don't think
No,
so.
we are allowed, sir. We
Huh?
are allowed. We are allowed, but we don't go for the feeding. We only go for the
Only one thing
tradition.
is there, no reservoirs. No reservoirs. Only one thing is there. The fishes or whatever available. No, those
Yes.
are not in this one here. Example, I'm telling. Okay, in a pond. Okay, in a pond we know the mass, biomass, everything we know. But in case of reservoir, it is very difficult to estimate the biomass first. Secondly, fishes are not in pond. Okay, the stocking density we know everything. No, okay, fishes are available at different corners of ponds. Okay, but in case of reservoir, you can take this such huge area is there. So feeding, where will you feeding here? Because reasons are there. Because feeding is there. No, the fishes are having the memory of feeding areas here. But in reservoir, where you'll feed, because this much reservoir is there, na? Only one thing is there, if you are feeding them, that's okay. Otherwise, let them based on this one. Natural productivity. Hello.
Yeah, yes, sir. But we are adding
But
some
normally,
vegetable base.
normally I'm just because I belongs to a government organization, and normally I'm telling we are not recommending anyone as I use the feeding or fertilization in the natural conditions here, because because such a water is used for the irrigation as well as for the drinking purpose and so many purpose maybe. So maybe if you are using and authorities are not telling something, then I don't know that thing here. But generally, we are not suggesting anyone maybe, because whatever the natural foods are there, only fish will grow on that thing here. If you want to convert this,
It is
those thing only. Hello.
it, yeah, it is
Yes.
taking 2 years time to grow one
Yes, yes. Yeah, it will take
kg.
time. Reason is there, no? Reason is there.
Mm.
Management of ponds is easy, but management of reservoirs is not easy, no? In pond, you know biomass. Okay, the pond dimension you already know, but in reserve you are telling 300-acre area. How can you feed fishes in this area? How can you ensure that feeding will be done in this much area? Think maybe here.
Yeah, is it possible to boost up the natural
Right.
productivity?
The natural
Natural
productivity.
productivity.
I don't think so. Maybe if you have better, if you are focusing, na, to just start this cage culture in that one here. Put some cages, stock some fishes using those with those reservoirs to water everything you'll use from the reservoirs. Only feed you provide in cages. That what you can do.
Okay.
Okay, but in case of maybe I don't think so. Maybe anyone is recommending that the feed and fertilizer can be utilized, okay, can be employed in the reservoirs.
Yeah, we are going with a tapioca,
You,
cassava.
you are using not a issue maybe, but in future maybe it might get issues here. Something is there. If no one is noticed, nothing is there. If someone is noticed, then only issue will come. No.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Before we conclude today's panel discussion, I'd like to ask a question that reflects the mission of the Women Fisheries Graduate Network.
Okay.
Sir, if you could leave one message for the next generation of fisheries and aquaculture professionals, what would it be?
Do something for this sector here. Women's ऐसा कुछ नहीं. There's no demarcation about this women and men something. Okay. Research, even only one issue is in private conditions. So इसलिए private job. Yeah, the women candidates are still struggling, but there is a not issue. In coming future, it will be good for them also. But I can say in academics and everywhere, the women scientists, women, especially women agricultures are always there here, because activities you have seen that, because I also belong to a village. Okay, where I saw my mother, they are working the villages in poor conditions. You have seen that, okay. So I just I can tell only one thing. Just focus on your goals. Don't think here and there. Okay, don't listen to anyone. Just focus on goal, and future will be yours in India. Because everything is nowadays, because I'm also having some colleagues, yeah, which are women here. Okay, they are working very nice job in the academics, research, everywhere. Okay, so you are having so much thing. Only private jobs I can tell that something is not there maybe. But in R&D, so many women are doing a great job. Okay. But in some sales are there. Only one issues are there. Because our
पीजी में एडमिशन
हाँ जी बोलिए.
स्टेट गवर्नमेंट का एक प्रोजेक्ट था.
हेलो. हाँ जी, मैं आपको सुन नहीं पा रहा हूँ, बोलिए. विष्णु कुमारी जी बोलिए. बोलिए बोलिए. हेलो. ठीक है. हाँ? So you are having all of you are having the great future ahead. So I'll wish all of you as the best endeavors in your life. And just focus on your goals, ma'am. I'm telling you, okay. Research will be very good, and in future you all will be excel in your field. I'll wish all of you. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, sir. Today's discussion has reminded us that nutrition is not merely about improving growth or increasing production. It is about protecting ecosystems, strengthening livelihoods, advancing scientific innovations, and ensuring food security for generations to come. The ideas shared today reinforce that the future of aquaculture will depend not only on the technological progress, but also on collaboration across disciplines, institutions, and nations. On behalf of the Women Fisheries Graduate Network, we sincerely thank each of our speakers for generously sharing their expertise, experience, and vision with us. As we conclude this enriching technical session, it is now my privilege to invite our WFGN member, Ms. Sadalini, to give vote of thanks. Ma'am, the virtual podium is now yours.
Distinguished speakers, respected academicians, researchers, industry professionals, students, and participants. It is my honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks for today's technical session. On behalf of the Women Fisheries Graduate Network under the Tundal ecosystem, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to the our esteemed speakers and sharing for your valuable knowledge uh, uh, on during our today's session nutrition beyond plate. Your presentation have highlighted the critical role and fisheries aquaculture in advancing nutrition, food security, sustainability, and human health. So we truly appreciate your time, expertise, and inspiring contribution. I will also like to sincerely thank our organizing committee, session hosts, technical and volunteers for their dedication and seamless coordination in making this session a success. So to all our participants, um, your involvement and active words support make this summit a truly meaningful.
Thank you, ma'am, for those gracious words. We once again extend our heartfelt gratitude to all our distinguished speakers, our participants from around the world, and every member of the organizing committee whose dedication made today's session possible. We hope today's discussions inspire new ideas, stronger collaborations, and continued innovation in fisheries and aquaculture. On behalf of the Women Fisheries Graduate Network under the Thundil ecosystem, thank you for being with us. We wish you a wonderful day ahead and look forward to welcoming you to our upcoming session. Thank you.